Yeah, I will say the one thing I've noticed, my strategic command games draw relatively well on my channel, better than a lot of things. And one of the things I've noticed is I get so many comments of people who are like, "So is this better than Hearts of Iron or not?" Or like, "How does this compare to Hearts of Iron?" And I just want to be like, "Guys, this game you can't compare them. Like they're about World War II. That's about all they have in common. Real time pausable, turn based, hex based." Not real. Well, is Hearts of Iron maybe represented with hexes? I don't know. In any
It's
event,
not. It's not
grand
hexes.
strategy like controlling like actual production and like economic resources and things like that versus like super abstracted like MPP like oh you get this much economic money. Like it's just they're not even comparable games. Like I would say they're in completely different genres in my opinion. A turn-based strategy game is not in the same genre as a real-time grand strategy game, in my opinion.
I think that's fair to make the comparison, or at least to ask the question, because people going into, if they want to, let's say you get inspired to play something about World War II, you might just wonder, what game would I like to play Germany in? Or what game would I like to play as the United States or Japan in? And from this perspective, they are similar in that they both model production, diplomacy to whatever degree you can even model that in World War II. And then the combat system. The Paradox games, I mean, it's real-time strategy, but it's, I mean, obviously no game is actually real-time. It's it's just micro-turns, right? So Paradox's Hearts of Iron is just hour by hour turn based.
I'm not critical to people who ask the question. I think the thing that surprises me is that in my mind they're so vastly different. But I think the thing that surprises me and sort of takes me back is that when that question gets asked, what I think it really is saying is that a lot of people have no point of reference for a World War II strategy game outside of Hearts of Iron. That Hearts of Iron has done so well for itself and for Paradox that it has captured a lot of people that do not play any other World War II strategy games. And so when you ask that question, to me what that is saying is just that it's not a bad question to ask per se, but what it seems to me to signal is that you don't have a point of reference out that if you're watching the video and you ask that question, to me it seems like you don't have a point of reference to compare to other than Hearts of Iron. Maybe that's an unfair comment, but it just like if you're actually watching the video you're commenting on, I'm a little bit flabbergasted how anyone can even draw the comparison. Maybe that's just my elitist wargamey sense. I don't know. But I think it speaks to something else where Paradox has done a tremendous job of getting people to play a World War II strategy game who would not otherwise play most other World War II strategy games, and maybe they just stumble across a video based off keywords and tags and things like that of this game, and they're like, oh, World War II strategy game. I like those. But the only point of reference they have is Hearts of Iron, which I think is interesting and could speak to the way that Paradox, in some sense, I think has cornered a different type of customer, a different type of gamer than anything that like Matrix or Slytherin typically sell to.
Yeah, I would agree with the second part of that Paradox has kind of cornered World War II strategy game or grand strategy game. Yeah, I'm not sure so much about the first part about whether or not if it's a fair question to ask, or I don't know myself. I'd be kind of curious why. What are the big differences that you think? But
I think it's more of just when you're watching a video of a game like this, is there anything in that screams to you Hearts of Iron other than the fact that it's about World War II?
Okay.
That's where I'm coming from. It's not a bad question. I think what it speaks to is just that people who stumble across this video, if the only World War II game that they're going to be playing is Hearts of Iron, that might be a question that they would ask. But if they're a World War II strategy veteran or they've played 3 or 4 of them, I don't think that's something they would think to ask. And so what I mean by that is just that, to me, that says Paradox has found a way to break through out of just the groggy wargamer group, and that they're succeeding in selling to people who would see a Matrix game and probably not buy it, but people who see the Paradox games and they buy them.
Well, speaking of
Or maybe they just don't even know about the other games, right? That might be a better explanation. They're just better at marketing and better at getting sort of a mass appeal. I don't know. It would make for a good video topic, but probably not ours now that we're over almost 40 minutes in.